I've noticed a phenomena emerging over the years. I call it a copy paste phenomena or NPC phenomena, and it's where the diversity of personality seems to be now cut down to just a few archetypal forms. And I was trying to figure out why this was. Programming. There's like two worlds. There's the real world and then there's the virtual world or the screen world. People are being made, essentially. Hijacked. The mind and identity is hijacked. And they're made into products. They're made into slaves. And these slaves are malleable and efficient at taking orders and commandments. There's a whole subset of laws behind this, but essentially, if you were to, all these arguments and everything, they're all to keep you distracted. The solution is switch the screen off. There's no like right or wrong. Like there is, but there's not if you switch the screen off. There's two worlds. There's the one where you're programmed, you're made into a product, a version, one of a few archetypes. And there's a world where you switch off the stream, the data stream, and you sit still and figure out what actually exists inside of you. Something happens, you hit a threshold after the uncomfortability, the true uncomfortability where you can actually sit still and not be restless. What happens is you get data, you get information. There's like the stimulating stream, which is the screens, the screen world. The world where you can't see anything because it's right in front of you and it overrides the subtle internal data stream, which is coming from somewhere else entirely. It's not coming from this world. That's why very few people can create, most people copy. It's only the people that can access the data stream which can create, even if their creations get out into the world through some form of machine or art. The secret is to switch off everything, to actually disconnect from the screen world and from your thoughts. And inside of the nothing, the void, there's information. I've been doing it for years. I've become exceedingly good at it. It's hard to do. It's not like some spiritual channel rambling off garbage from the top of from stuff they've copied. It might take months to obtain something useful, but when it clicks, you can execute it and you'll find it works if it is actually the data coming from the data stream. So what I'm trying to say is there's salvation in actually understanding that you're not just, you don't have to be a victim of being completely programmed to the point in which your life will be over and you'll realize what's happened the day you die. It's too late. Stolen. A stolen life. Nature has a resolution. Has a resolution and a ratio. It has a ratio of different types of people it's decided to allot in order to balance the system. And sometimes it does experiments, and sometimes they fail, and sometimes they succeed. But there is ratios. Some people a little bit more creative than others. Some people, everyone has a role, essentially. And it's governed by a very ancient system that is in balance, but it will also do anything to get what it wants. If you want to become where you're always meant to be, or if you want to become the version of the person that is the most that you could ever be, you need to get all the ideas out of your head that have been put there the whole time and you have not had a break from it. unless you figure this out, which would be cool. Many people have, but you have to like disconnect. You have to have like a break to actually get the data. Then you'll be able to see the program. You'll be able to see that people have been made. They didn't. Your thoughts are not your own. They've been put there. You've been made to think a certain way because it makes you more efficient as a contributor of energy that is taken. You can still operate within the system, but life might be better. It might be more interesting. It might be more meaningful if you can stop for a second and disconnect. Dopamine is causing you to be immersed eternally in the screen world because it's addictive. It's the oxytocin in which was taken from humans, that sense of belonging in a community. The mind has substituted it for dopamine because without either, there's a feeling of emptiness and being alone, and restlessness kicks in and the screens are switched back on. But if there is value in the idea of becoming your true blueprint or marrying your most compatible self with the self that you are now in the physical form, the only way to access it is to be still and switch it all off. Because the information you need to understand and know comes from no one. It only comes in the stillness of nothing, when there is nothing stimulating you. It's the only way to access it in this world because of the way it is. And oh my glory, when you find it, you won't look back.